Hello everyone, welcome to this new video. In this video will proceed forward for the communication skills chapter, classroom communication skills chapter of IT. So this is uh, in my last video I completed communication cycle. Okay, the topic methods of communication and communication cycle has been completed. So now it's for communication barriers. So now we'll start communication barriers. Yeah, so we'll start communication barriers now.
Hello, students. Let us learn about communication barriers. In the previous chapters, you have read about the importance of communication in our daily lives and the different methods we use to communicate. In this chapter, we will discuss about barriers which hinder communication. A communication barrier is something that prevents the receiver from receiving and understanding the message that has been sent by the sender. If a message is not understood clearly, it may lead to communication gaps, causing confusion and misunderstanding. It is therefore crucial that the communication.
Yes, so the introduction is that a communication barrier is nothing but it's an obstacle between the sender and the receiver to communicate the message. Okay, it if a message is not understood clearly, it may leads to communication gaps. Yes, if there is any communication barriers, then the communication will not become fruitful. As a result, the communication will be failed. It will be a failed communication, and there is no use of the discussion for any sort of purpose. So while uh, while communicating with someone, if someone communicates for a particular purpose, then they should ensure that there is no communication barriers. So this is the main concept. So now we'll say we'll proceed further.
To check that the message was clearly understood. These barriers may be internal barriers related to your thoughts and feelings, or external barriers. First, let us learn about types of communication barriers. There are many barriers that hinder our ability to communicate. We will learn about each type of barrier and various factors causing them. Barriers related to the formation of message. These barriers are limited to problems in the conversation or formation of the message itself. Multiple factors cause these barriers like messages, language problems, innovation issues, or the non-verbal communication. For example, these types of problems are related to the message that has been conveyed. Lengthy or complicated messages. Sometimes the vocabulary and pronunciation is too difficult and complicated to understand, or a sentence may be too long for one to receive its meaning. This factor can cause a communication barrier. Linguistic issues. The differences which occur due to accent, speech disorders, or symbols that with completely different meanings can affect the communication process. Additionally,
Yes, so barriers related to the formation of message. Okay, these barriers occurs due to the problems in the composition of formation of the message itself. Yes, so in the message itself, can be some barriers which are internal barriers. So multiple factors cause these barriers like lengthy messages, language problems, intonation issues, or the non-verbal communication used. Yes, so multiple multiple problems are there, like the message becomes very much lengthy. So we need to ensure that the message is the tone of the message, the language of the message has to be easy. So then intonation issues. Intonation means the way we give the way we communicate with each other. Our body intonation is nothing but our body gestures, body language. Okay, or the non-verbal communication used. Non-verbal means our body gesture only comes like nodding our head. It's not speaking. Okay, there's no interference of verbal communication. So non-verbal communications are not preferred for any communication. Okay, so always verbal communications are preferred. Okay, so then there will be no barriers. Okay, then lengthy or complicated messages. Sometimes the vocabulary used in a conversation is too difficult and complicated to understand, or a sentence may be too long for one to perceive its meaning. Yes, what happens is that in lengthy or complicated message, that sometimes our language becomes very much lengthy, or the way we send message to the receiver, okay, to the way we communicate, okay, sometimes the language also becomes difficult. Sometimes the vocabulary means the language only, okay, the conversation becomes too difficult, that is that neither the receiver nor the sender sometimes also get confused, okay, and the receiver doesn't understand. So this is a complicated message which we should avoid. Then linguistic issues, the interferences which occurs due to accent, speech disorders, or symbols having multiples and often completely defined meanings can affect the communication process. Okay, linguistic issues are nothing but speech disorders, symbols having multiple and often completely different meanings. Okay, so some symbols are there which have ample of meanings. I don't say ample, it has different meanings. So these meaning in these signs or these symbols has to be ignored to make the conversation fruitful. Now we will see internal barriers.
Failures are nurtured to some inherent trait or the frame of mind of the communicators. Responsible for internal barriers include intense emotions,
Yes, internal barriers are nothing but which have the barriers which gets created inside the you know brain when someone communicates with each other. Okay, when someone tends to communicate, he or she sometimes fails to communicate, which is the internal barriers. The reason is that there is internal barriers. Okay, some factors responsible for internal barriers includes intense emotion. Okay, the person is attracted with weak emotions. Poor listening skills is a major factor. When the sender is telling something to the receiver, so then the receiver, if the receiver does not have any does not have a poor, and if the receiver does not have a good listening skill, okay, then the communication becomes worthless. Okay, the communication doesn't become fruitful. Okay, so in that case we should make sure that while while communicating with each other, the listening skills should be good. Different viewpoints or different cultural backgrounds, yes. Viewpoints means someone can take the communication, or someone can take the discussion negatively. Someone can take the discussion positively. So negative, positive, all these things comes under viewpoints. Okay, then the lastly different backgrounds, cultural backgrounds. Okay, cultural backgrounds, if say I am a Bengali, if I am a Bengali, then if I if I deliver any communication, if I deliver any, say, lecture to a person who doesn't understand Bengali, and I am also not unable to communicate with him with his language. Okay, so we both come under different cultural background. We both come under different culture who doesn't understand each other's language. So at that times what happens, the it and the a barrier gets created, which comes under internal barriers as well as it comes under external barriers. So it's a common barrier between the person. It's a common barrier of the person of this of both the barrier. Okay, internal also and external also. Okay, so then we'll proceed further.
Let's understand this with the help of an example. You are very excited about a class meeting and did not pay attention when your teacher asked you to get a permission letter from your parents for the picnic. As a result, these types of barriers, which are related to our state of mind or some other internal issues, are called internalized. Fatigue, disinterest, or excitement. Sometimes the receiver may be too excited, tired, or drawing a conversation may not be interesting for the receiver. This may result in a
Yes, fatigue, disinterest, or excitement. Let's suppose the sender is, is tired. He's not in a position to deliver in lecture, but then he's forced to. But then it's, let's say, it's emergency for him to, deliver the communication. So in that case, the communication will not be fruitful. It will be, it will be the communication will be unsuccessful. So in that case, the sender will be unable to deliver the communication properly. So in that case, this is also a barrier, which is an internal barrier, and this may result in lack of attention to what the sender is stating. Okay, so this fatigue, tiredness, this can happen to sender also or receiver also. Okay, a sender also might, might get unsuccessful for delivering the lecture. Okay, delivering the communication. Or also reverse also, it can happen that the receiver is not in a state to, to get the to receive the communication or receive the message. Okay, as he's not interested. So both the things can happen.
listeners do not attend carefully to all the information by the speaker.
For listening skills, as I said, during communication, listening skill is very important. So the receiver as well as the sender, they both have to get a good listening skills. Okay, they both must have a good listening skills in order to make the communication successful.
Both verbal and non-verbal signals, including emotional barriers. Some people find it difficult to express their emotions appropriately during communication. For example, a blind person cannot communicate properly and an angry recipient cannot understand the message correctly. Thus, at the time of communication, both the sender and receiver needs to be in the right frame of understand what is
Yes, as I said, emotional barriers are nothing but these are the barriers where the sender, where one case may happen in sender, he is not in a state to, deliver the communication. Okay, the sender might be tired, the sender might be angry. Okay, the sender might be financially, the sender might have financial crisis. Okay, so all these things will lead to an emotional, will lead to communication gap. Okay, between the two person. It can reverse, also it can happen in receiver also. The receiver might not have the interest to, you know to to receive the lecture, to receive the communication, as the as the receiver might be disturbed. As the receiver might not be in a state to receive the communication. Okay, so maybe the receiver is not in a is not okay, is not physically well. This can also be the reason.
differences in perception and viewpoint. The receiver may not look at things the same way as the person who is communicating. This causes communication gaps because there is disagreement between the sender and receiver.
The receiver may not look at things the same way as the person who is coming. Yes, this is nothing but this is a internal barrier gap, as this is an internal barrier. As while the sender is, as the sender is communicating with the receiver might not in a state to receive the thing, okay, or he is not in a state to communicate. As this and as a result, the sender is forcing him to come to get to communicate. Okay, so in the this may be internal barrier. So that's how this is internal barrier. So in my next video, I'll be discussing about external barriers. Thank you.